Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful. I'd like to welcome you, dear viewers. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May Allah's peace and blessings be upon you. To another in the series, In the Light of Islam. In this segment, we'll be looking at some questions with regards to Ramadan, as well as some questions with regards to Hajj. And we hope that the answers which we are giving you are sufficient and clarify for you whatever it is that you are trying to get at. If you find that a question has not been answered to you satisfactorily, or I've hit the wrong point, I've not really understood exactly what you are asking, you may write in again and I will try to give further clarification for your question. Now, the first question is from Basharat Ali in Sharjah. Dear Dr. Bilal, Assalamu alaikum. It is said that during the month of Ramadan, Satan is imprisoned by Allah. Still, we see people behaving like devils, opposing the commandments of Allah. So if Satan is put in prison during that holy month, then why do people commit sins and tempt others to evil? Please do reply. Yours sincerely, Basharat Ali. This question, of course, is based on a particular hadith or statement of Prophet Muhammad, may God's peace and blessing be upon him, in which he said that when the month of Ramadan comes, the evil jinn are chained. They're not able to operate as freely as during the rest of the year. In other words, this is an opportunity for us to do much good. But people still do evil. Because evil is not external in its origin. We have been given an ability to know evil and to know good. We choose as individuals whether to do evil or to do good. Now, external forces may enhance the good or enhance the evil, make the good seem more attractive to us or make the evil seem more attractive to us. And this may influence our choice in the sense that it encourages us to choose one or the other. However, it is still our choice. So the fact that the evil jinn, the devils, are chained during the month of Ramadan, that they're not able to affect us as they are outside of the month of Ramadan, this doesn't mean that we still can't choose to do evil. So we ourselves may continue to do evil, making the evil choices, even though the opportunity to do good is there. Furthermore, there are evil amongst human beings who are just, you find them always encouraging us to do evil. They are not chained. They're human beings. They're still, mixing with us. They may be members of our families. They may be our own husbands, wives, daughters, fathers, aunts, uncles, whatever. They are our relatives. They are living. They're human beings. And they may encourage us to evil, functioning as the evil forces, the devils amongst the jinn, etc., would. So these still remain, and we still have the ability to choose evil. So the principle behind that statement of Prophet Muhammad, may God's peace and blessing be upon him, was not that all evil forces are finished, so therefore everything should now be good. No, those particular evil forces have been chained, giving us a greater opportunity to do good. It is easier for us to choose the good during that period because we are away from those additional influences. However, it doesn't mean that we now become angels. We still have our own desires, etc. We still are living in an environment where evil is around us. It may be in the media, television, the newspapers, the magazines, etc. Evil is there. It could be on the radio, songs, etc., etc. The evil in the environment is still there. So this is how we should understand that hadith, statement of Prophet Muhammad, which is true with regards to the presence of evil even during that month. The next question is one from Khadija Ibrahim in Dubai, in which she says, Dear Dr. Bilal, Assalamu alaikum. I'm one of the admirers of your program. The programs presented by you are very informative and interesting. I'm going for Hajj, and I'll pray for you, inshallah. I hope that you do. Kindly let me know whether the Hajj of a woman will be complete if her period starts after pelting 7 pebbles on Satan, Jamratul Aqaba, before Tawaf al-Ifada. Is it obligatory to remove her ihram during that period? Will her Hajj be complete without completing the final ritual? Kindly answer. Thanks in anticipation. Yours sincerely, Khadija Ibrahim. Thank you, Sister Khadija, for your words of encouragement. And as I said, I do hope that you will make a prayer for me, a prayer or two, when you've made Hajj. Now, with regards to the periods, menses, which comes before Tawaf al-Ifada. Without Tawaf al-Ifada, Hajj is not complete. This is a basic principle. This particular circling of the Kaaba is a critical part of Hajj. Without it, Hajj is incomplete. And we know that to perform Tawaf, it is not permissible for a woman to do so in a state of menstruation, because Tawaf is a form of prayer, of formal prayer. Now, what should a woman do? If she has time, her menses comes, she has to wait 5, 6, 7 days until the menses ends. And when it ends, she then does her Tawaf al-Ifada without coming out of Ihram, and her Hajj is then complete. That is, once her menses comes, she should not come out of Ihram. She remains in Ihram until her menses stops, and then she makes the Tawaf, and her Hajj is complete. If she was making what is known as Hajj Tamattu', then it would also require her to make a sa'i, that is the walking between Safa and Marwa, following the Tawaf al-Ifada. Now, if a person has gone with a group, and that group's period is set immediately after the 13th, or the time right after the official period of Hajj is over, they're leaving, she cannot stay behind on her own, etc., etc. She has no choice. What to do now? Now, scholars have ruled that it is permissible for her to wear, whatever she's going to wear in terms of sanitary napkins, etc., as she would naturally if her menses comes, and she goes ahead and makes the Tawaf and leaves. The penalty or requirement for one who makes Tawaf in a state of sexual defilement or in a state of menses is to sacrifice a camel. This is a requirement. So, according to scholars, if one does so, of course, if one does so deliberately, then, or even ignorantly, one is required to make that sacrifice. And in this circumstance where a woman does this, if she's able to make the sacrifice, then she should also do that. And her Hajj will be complete. I should mention that in the letter, you mentioned pelting 7 pebbles on Satan. Well, this is a point that should be clarified, because sometimes people go overboard in what is happening in that area where we're instructed to throw 7 pebbles at a pillar known as Jamratul Aqaba, and there are 2 others. That when we are pelting, we're not in fact pelting Satan. people sometimes think that this pillar is actually Satan. And you may find them climbing on top of it, beating it with their shoes, throwing all kinds of things, sticks and, shoes at the Jamra, and they get very much emotionally involved in the process. But please, we must understand that this only represents a place where Satan had come to Abraham, Prophet Abraham, when he was performing the rites, when he was doing what God had commanded him and tried to dissuade him from doing it. Satan had come to him, dissuade him from sacrificing his son, dissuade him from going to make tawaf, etc. He had thrown these pebbles to chase him away. So we are throwing the pebbles symbolically commemorating the act of Prophet Abraham. So this is a spiritual act that we are doing. We're reflecting on that act. Allahu Akbar, Bismillah, throwing these pebbles. And we're reflecting on, driving Satan away from us, opposing Satan. But let us not become so involved in the process on an emotional level that we actually think that pillar is actually Satan. As you said, pelting Satan. No, we're not pelting Satan. We are throwing the pebbles in commemoration of the act of Prophet Abraham. And spiritually, we are rejecting evil. We are opposing Satan. Another question from Dubai, from Judy Emmanuel. Dear Dr. Bilal, in Islam, polygamy is permissible if the husband should treat all his wives as equals and should not discriminate among them. He is responsible for observing equality among his wives in all kinds of material treatment. But equality in emotions and feelings is neglected or overlooked in this regard. In my opinion, emotions and feelings are much more valuable than material possession. Then why is it that Islamic women's emotions are not fully respected in this aspect? Please justify. Yours sincerely, Judy Emmanuel. Okay, Judy, you have stated in the beginning that for a man to have more than one wife, he has to treat them equally and not discriminate amongst them. Obviously, you have been exposed to the Islamic teachings and you're aware of what Islam has to say on the matter. However, there are some slight misunderstandings here. Because, one, what is required is not equal treatment, but just treatment. That is, if one wife has 4 children and another wife has 1 child, the money that you have to give the wife with 4 children, the type of size of house you have to give that wife, the equipment of the house, the refrigerator, the stove, all these other things, what is required for a wife with 1 child is different from what is required for a wife with 4 or more. So what we have to give is what is suitable to fulfill the basic needs of the wives, that we do so justly, not equally, because equality is only when all of the circumstances are in fact equal. Justice is what is required here. Now, Islam does specify that the justice has to be with regards to the material possessions, 1, and equality has to be there with regards to time. 1 day with one wife, 1 day with the other. Or, if they decide, 2 days and 2 days, or 3 days and 3 days. However they decide to do it, but it must be divided equally. Time can be equally divided. Justice is maintained here. Now, the time issue is not merely material. The time addresses the emotional and the feelings. Here it is. So let us not think that Islam neglects the area of emotions and time. No. Emotions and feelings, no. Because that insistence on equal division of time